All right, Josh, welcome to the 20-something podcast.
Hi, I own Anchor Productions, which is a full production studio in Greenville, South Carolina. Yeah, I never thought I would own my own business, which is still weird now. And then Anchored became Anchored because Hebrews 6:19, our hope in Jesus is an anchor for our soul.
All right, Josh, welcome to the 20-something podcast.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited to
This is
talk.
cool.
So yeah, I will have you kind of tell everybody like your little elevator pitch, who you are, what you do, and then
Right.
we'll take it back to beginning of your 20s.
Okay, so I own Anchor Productions, which is a full production studio in Greenville, South Carolina. So I do audio, film, and photo. So the audio portion's more like mixing and mastering songs for artists, and then music like instrumental making, orchestral compositions for film. Then photo and video are pretty much just commercial, independent, lifestyle, just pretty much all the above. But I started the business in 2020, but it was just audio. So it was just like mixing, Foley, sound effects, music. And then my sister pretty much helped me start the business as like a actual like LLC, et cetera. Because I was doing a lot of like reoccurring type of clientele at the time, and my sister was like, "You should probably get official so you don't get sued yourself."
Yeah.
It's like probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So did that, and then I guess last year was when I really made the transition to make it a full production studio, which my sister again helped me kind of do. She's a real she helps push me to do something that I should do, but like I'm kind of probably afraid to do. But yeah, and she actually owns Sandpiper. It's a marketing agency.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
she does that, like social media and websites, like Bridgeway Station. She does a lot of
She
theirs.
does?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's just a fun time
Yeah.
with her. So we're almost like partners in a way, but like I don't work for her, she doesn't work for me, but we do a lot of like things together. So
Okay.
I'll like film stuff for her and then
Cool.
vice versa.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear about how you got into all of that.
Yeah.
So let's backtrack it.
All right. Bring it back.
Take it back. You can start wherever you want. A lot of people
Okay.
start with college or if you didn't go wherever, but yeah, 20s. Let's hear about it.
Okay, so I went to Full Sail University in Orlando for music production. So that's a 20-month, 2-year, whatever, program. So,
Okay.
but it's accelerated, so you're just going all year. You get some holiday breaks, but like the worst month was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday was 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh my
I
God.
think, or vice versa. But that was, we get labs and like fun time. It never felt like work.
Okay.
But anyway, so I went there. It was a very insane time. That really helped me with like trying to get things turned over quicker because it was just a very like rushed type of school, which was good. It was a good school. But I went there mainly wanting to just make music. So my dad played in a band called Lobo. It's an older band. He was the piano player.
Cool.
Hulk Hogan was actually the bass player.
Cool.
So they were like best friends in high school. But so I guess kind of growing up with him and the music scene in his past, like kind of helped influence me to want to make music myself. But kind of going in the behind the scenes tour at that college when I was in high school, I went there with my family to kind of do that, and I was like, I think I just want to make like music for film, like behind the scenes stuff, like not really the artist per se. So yeah, I just kind of went into college with that kind of mindset, like I want to score music for film, which I still am going to with the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I'm just waiting for Hans Zimmer to hit me up. But then that kind of just transferred into a whole like mixing songs, Foley sound effects, and music for film. So then graduated college with bachelor's in music production, and then kind of went in a fitness route.
Yeah.
So I've been a personal trainer for 4.5 years.
Okay.
And that's what I did right out of college because I didn't have like a media music job like right out of college. I was still doing like side stuff, and yeah, I kind of just wanted to pursue that passion too, fitness, and kind of incorporate that into helping others, help them achieve their goals. So yeah, then that kind of my clientele just like started to build up, and that's when Ashley like helped me just be like, you should probably start a business. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much it in a sum up.
Okay. So how did you decide to, instead of working for somebody in music production, do your own thing?
I think I really like, how do you say this non-selfishly? I like working like with my own time, and I want to be as like free range as possible. So I really like helping others and just being collaborative with others and just kind of having that freedom to go do that. I don't really like the, not necessarily like a 9 to 5, because I don't even think, the people in that industry don't have 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
When they're working for Disney or whatever, they're definitely overnight times probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I honestly didn't even think I would have my own business. I kind of thought I was just going to like hopefully work for like Disney or Warner Brothers or something. But I guess that just kind of rippled effect into, again, my sister being a big influence and just kind of helped me just do something I didn't think I would do. And yeah,
Okay.
I guess does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
How do you get into doing that on your own, like music production for films? Do you have like films come to you, or do you like, how does that work?
So a little bit of both. A lot of it has been word of mouth the past like 3 years. So I haven't necessarily had to reach out to like directors or producers that I know in LA and like say, hey, do you guys need any work? A lot of them will just kind of be like, oh, we're about to start our next film. Are you still interested in working with us? So that's been because music was the first thing. So I was doing that longer.
Yeah.
So I've kind of had, Reedy Reels. It's like a film festival here. I don't even know how long they've been doing it, but I actually met a director, producer, Caitlin Moose, who's from here, but she lives in LA too. And so she does acting and all this other stuff there. So she kind of helped spread my name a little bit over there, and kind of just do a lot of like remote things. So just got plugged in with some directors, and I only really go there for the festivals or like those showings. I've never had to like technically go there only for hands-on work,
Right.
because I can just do it all remote. So yeah, I guess now they're coming to me / just a retainer type of thing where we're just continuously working together.
Yeah.
But I reached out to Hans Zimmer. Nothing. I don't get it.
Shoot.
And John Williams.
Hit him up. Come on, guys.
But yeah, so.
That's really cool. Okay. So out of school, were you like applying and trying to get a job, and then it just didn't ever?
Yeah. Even remote stuff or like little side type jobs that were still kind of in that industry. I got a lot of like, interviews and next steps,
Yeah.
but it never panned out. I even have an uncle who lives in St. Pete, who his good friend is the music director for Disney.
Oh, cool.
And like I even was on the phone with him and stuff, and it was always like, oh, we'll let you know. So I was like, this is kind of discouraging, but maybe God has a plan. Duh. He
Yeah.
does. So kind of helped me anyways with the fitness realm, like meet connections and
Yeah.
people that are doing both, too, not like producing and a personal trainer, but just working out and do music stuff or
Right.
media stuff that I've just connected with. So yeah.
Okay. You still do the personal
I
training stuff?
still, yeah, online, but just a few clientele. I've kind of just solely been focusing on Anchored, especially since the Run Club. It's been popping
You're
off.
busy.
Thank you, Ashley and Jake.
That's awesome.
But yeah, did I answer the full question?
Yes.
I think, okay.
You did.
Kind of forgot it
Good
a little
job.
bit.
So where did the transition into like photo and video come in? Did you do that in the past, or is that something you kind of had to learn to bring on?
I always dabbled in it, like with my phone and stuff in high school. and had some friends, two friends in high school that did photo, and I always just thought it was kind of cool. And growing up loving movies and
Yeah.
thinking it'd be cool to work with films, I just always thought that was interesting to me. The camera just looks cool, and I just think I could never like work with the camera until I guess you kind of just do your research and start learning about it. It's not
Yeah.
as complicated, knock on wood, as I guess it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say, well, college when you first go into Full Sail, the first couple months are kind of tailored to everybody's program. So, show production, audio engineering, then music production, film, and so forth. So you're kind of dabbling and learning from those degrees too, or programs too. And of course, everybody's collaborative there. If you have to do a collaborative project, you'll have to reach out to other people from the other programs. So if I have to do a score for something, but I need a film for it, I would have to talk to like the people that I know in film. So it was a very collaborative networking college.
That's cool.
So my best friend in Atlanta went there for film, and his name's Damir. You're welcome. And he has really helped me with, I guess, the ins and outs of photography and videography since college, and learning a little bit about that. So always on the side, then just kind of did marketing for myself with my camera, and it kind of just made me enjoy it before it became a service that I do for my business, which again, my sister kind of pushed me to do. But yeah, and I think obviously I love music and audio a little bit more, but it's like a different love, visual and audio. I don't know, you can just do so many different things with both sides. So I think incorporating them both in things really help.
Yeah.
So
Okay. That's awesome. That's really cool that you got to learn how to network and collaborate in college.
yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, it is scary. And now I'm like in my 20s, and that's the hardest part about this is like reaching out to people, because like regular college that you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
They partner you up with somebody in your class,
Right.
and it's like, all right, who's going to pull the sled here and who's going to put their name on it type of
Yeah.
thing. But I think that's such a valuable thing to learn at a young age, because it's everything you do is networking.
Yeah, I think that college too really does a good job in selling itself as a hands-on, like you're gonna have fun. It's not gonna be like 2 + 2 is 4. I mean, it's gonna be more complicated than that, I'm sure. But I mean, even the like math, social studies,
Yeah.
all that was tailored to the degree. So like
That's so
science
cool.
was like more waveforms, how they work in audio. But yeah, it was a big, what do you call it? Stepping out of my comfort zone. But I don't know, once you kind of get into some of those groups and kind of just see how things are at that college, and just, even the professors or the lab instructors were really, collaborative too. Like
Yeah.
I'm still friends with some of them too, but, yeah, very, very fun college.
That's cool.
Collaborative.
Was it like a smaller?
Yes. I don't even know the number. But you can do it online too. I just
Okay.
think in person's better
Yeah.
because you were there in
Yeah.
the studios. But yeah, it's kind of small.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing like Clemson or something like that.
Yeah, big universities. I went to UW for a little bit.
Okay.
Massive.
Nice.
So did you go right after school? So you just did 2 years and then you were done, or did you kind of take a break after high school?
So yeah, the 20 months, went right. Well, I did the whole 20 months, obviously, and then right out of there, I was still doing what I do, or what I was doing, just audio. But obviously needing a job, so I had to do some personal training. But it was still kind of that passion of mine on the fitness realm
Okay.
that I got to enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say it never stopped after college, because it's a field where there's always something new, and you can try different things. So I think doing something like that every day, if you can, helps with leveling up what you know, and I don't know, you just get crazier ideas.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
so.
What did you do in the in-between time while you were personal training and then working on music, but you hadn't started your own business yet. Like, what were you doing to get to that point to be able to be like, all right, I can do this as my full-time job?
I want to say I definitely had some like spurts where I didn't know, like, you know, insecurity wise of like, oh, is this gonna happen? I'm like pursuing these places, and I feel like I'm doing somewhat of an okay job, and have these connections, but like, is, you know, I was also very impatient,
Yeah.
like the rest of the world, I guess. But so I had some spurts or some times like that where I was kind of down, but I don't know. I want to say I was just trying to do as much as possible, which can be a bad thing too, obviously, like overly like working yourself. So I definitely learned in that time to not be so focused on like, oh, you just have to get something out there so people can see, like, just
Right.
when if you take a little bit more extra time, like, it'll be better and not make that big of a difference if you just stay consistent that way, at least. But then the clientele started ramping up to where my sister was like, you should, you know, start it up. So, and then became anchored because Hebrews 6:19, our hope in Jesus is an anchor for our soul, kind of resonated with me for a while, and I actually have that tatted on me.
I like that.
And, you know, I just wanted to be that anchor for the clientele, just knowing that they're going to get, you know, the best that they deserve and more. So, yeah, I think that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that time, were you like, before word of mouth was like a big thing for you, was that like a big networking time for you? Were you just making a bunch of stuff and sending it? Or like, how does that, with music, how does that work?
I think, like, just collaborating as much as you can. I've
Okay.
worked, well, I, you know, made my own songs in high school,
Oh,
in
nice.
8th grade too, and a little bit into college before I made the behind the scenes transition. So I did features with like music artists across like America. It's not as big as it sounds, as what I'm saying. You know, just like a couple local, couple like across,
Yeah.
you know, America. Alan Brown is a music artist. I actually mix a lot of his stuff.
Cool.
And he lives in Virginia, and he was the first guy I kind of, I guess, collaborated with outside of like local people.
Yeah.
And we just like made some songs together, and then he did features with other people that I did stuff with, and it just kind of just spread and spread. And I feel like if you have good intentions with the people you're, you know, with and collaborating with,
Yeah.
and you're just wanting people to be happy, not so much codependency, you know, but or people pleasing, but I think you'll just do a good job in life in general, because I just think helping others in general is a good thing to do. So I think with the collabs and the features, and it wasn't for money either, so it was always like just for free. Even some of the other artists too, they would want to do it for free too, because it's just something they want to do and they love.
Yeah.
And then that just rippled affected into music, or music composition, like orchestral songs for film and all this other stuff, where you just meet one person and you meet another person. It's like, that's weird. How did I meet this director through
Right.
a front desk associate? You know, I don't know. It's just connections are weird in a cool way.
Yeah. 7 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
Especially here in Greenville.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
It's such a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a collaborative area. I feel like everybody's trying to help each other out.
It really is. This podcast has shown me that, and it's been
Yeah.
really cool. I love Greenville. The community here is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of the Supreme Nutrition,
Yep.
Junkyard, a lot of fitness places too. I think
Yeah.
has been a big help in the community. So
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. The fitness community has really expanded,
and the Run Club.
and the Run Club. I was telling Grant.
shout outs.
Yeah. I was telling Grant earlier, I was like, I'm just using Run Club as like my networking
Yeah.
club at this point.
Yeah, it's amazing how that even skyrocketed to where
I
like
know.
Corey, the owner of Pangea, me and him are really good friends, and we met through the Run Club.
Oh, really?
Once.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
So we work out almost every day, or
Yeah.
except for, you know, not every day.
Right.
But yeah.
That's awesome. Y'all go to Cherrydale?
We do.
I work at the
Crunch.
Taylor's Crunch.
Oh, wait, I think I saw you at the Cherrydale. Was it on
I
the
was-
opening day or no?
I was there on opening day for a
Okay.
little bit, yeah. Okay, so you never thought about being a business owner?
No, not until Ashley made me make my own business. My
For your
sister.
fitness clients?
For my music.
For your music,
Yeah. So,
okay.
and then now it's production.
Okay.
As a whole, but yeah, I never thought I would own my own business, which is still weird now. Like, because when I did personal training at gyms and stuff, that was still like my main income source.
Yeah.
So like I was just kind of, if you look at it in the grand scheme, it's like, oh, you're just doing music on the side when really, but really I wanted the music to be the main, job. While I was kind of doing both of that, but working for someone, I guess, a big company. But, so it's kind of weird to have my own schedule essentially. And I actually, and we can get into it later if I feel like how do I condense what I'm about to say? When I moved down here and worked as the personal trainer at the Simpsonville Planet Fitness
Okay.
for about a year, I guess, maybe a little bit longer. And then when I got enough basically clientele to where I'm good to have a, steady living income from it, that was the weird change because I felt like I needed to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And I still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I never thought I would be a business owner. So,
Yeah.
and then when I talked to people like David with Supreme,
Yeah.
Marcus with Junkyard, and Corey with Pangea, like I'll even ask them for advice or just like talk to them about stuff. And I'm like, I need to put, like the other day I was telling Marcus when we worked out the other day, I was like, I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I like get too zoned into like responding to something or an email or whatever while I'm working out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you got to put on Do Not Disturb. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So far, so good. It gets stressful too because you have now more free time, I guess, per se, to where you can, you don't have a job where you have set hours and then you have something you're trying to pursue. You now have all that free range to pursue that. So you can almost, or at least I did, kind of still do a little bit, say yes too much and get too workloaded to where, oh man, I had all this time, but now I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm doing more stuff. I don't know. It's weird. So I think balancing it has been the biggest hurdle for me, to kind of just like a healthy balance,
Yeah.
not overwork myself and not work 24 hours, 7 days a week. Like I need some type of rest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I totally relate to that. I feel like I can't, because I still will train like 8 hours in the morning and then I'll come home and I'll be like, all right, well, I have to do all of these things right
Yeah.
now because I got to make this work. And then I'm like working 6 to 9 p.m. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I burnt out? Why am I tired? I just started turning my phone on Do Not Disturb
Oh,
though
really?
when I work
Nice,
out.
yeah.
I was like, there's no reason to be responding to stuff right now. It's
Yeah.
1 hour of your time, which is so important. And I think that's a good lesson, especially at this age, because these are the years to grind for sure,
Yeah.
but it's also important to like take care of your brain.
exactly. Because that affects the grind.
Yeah.
Essentially, like your work will start sucking, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a point, I remember you brought something up about like producing quantity and not quality. And there was a point with this where I was doing that same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I just need to put it out all the time, blah, blah, blah. And finally there was like, I remember this one episode, my dad was like, hey, that was bad. I was like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, you got to figure something else out. I was
That's
like,
good he said
"Okay."
that, I guess.
Yeah, I know. That's when I started bringing guests on. I was like, I guess I'm out of things to say by myself, so we should probably switch this up.
Yeah. I
But
think that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know. I feel like that also kind of made me more of the perfectionist or like, I don't know if it's OCD or something, but not wanting to put something out if I feel like it's gross.
Yeah.
Like, even though like before I was essentially like, I don't know, high school or something, which I guess kind of helped in a way of quickness in publishing, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely quality over, because I mean you see movies now too, like they're just trying to get so much stuff out there where like
much
now
stuff.
it's like, okay, just take your time.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know.
But yeah, I definitely agree,
Yeah.
quality over quantity.
What do you think the hardest part was for you when deciding to go down the route of entrepreneurship versus sticking out and waiting for a job to come your way?
The hardest hurdle, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Let's take a commercial break. I'm just kidding. I would say to kind of, this is a complicated question, but not really. I guess grounded, because I think you're on your own, whatever, and you have your own schedule, all this free time, so that can kind of get to your head a little bit, where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back, relax. I have all this time.
Yeah.
Where when you have the job that you have a time you need to get to, you have things that are done at a certain time. Which not saying you don't as an entrepreneur, but
Right.
A weekly set time, whatever. I kind of, it helps with the discipline aspect. But I think if you can make sure you don't get too comfortable, like you still have a little bit of the grind in you with all this free time, I think that's good if you can do that, because that was, I think, my biggest challenge was I would let work pile up too quick or too much.
Yeah.
I still do that sometimes. And then I get like stressed and I'm like, sorry, no, I can't hang out. I have 10 videos I have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that's probably a continuous type of struggle too, but was a first initial struggle too.
Yeah. I think the stability freaks people out when deciding if they're gonna go that route.
That's it right there. Let's erase
There you
that.
go.
Just kidding. Keep it in. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I always think I'm going to live on the streets tomorrow. Even though like I love my family and they're not going to let me live on the curb, but I still feel like I'm waiting for my bank account to say zero tomorrow, and like nobody wants to work with me anymore or something.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. It's like that going from the bi-weekly paycheck to just like, okay, you get paid when you do the work. It's freaky.
Yeah. Because when you have that free time of, I'm caught up with what I need to, video, photo wise, whatever, then you think you're not getting paid.
Yeah, no, for real.
It's weird. Like if I'm on my phone or something, I'm like, oh no, wait.
Right.
Wait, am I getting paid?
Right.
I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like changing your mindset from that, like trading your hours for dollars, to like the quality of your work is what gets you paid, not how much time you put into it.
Yeah.
But it's still that weird transition of like, should I be doing something?
Yeah,
I need to be somewhere. Like,
I know, it feels like I'm about to be homeless if I don't do anything. Like even if I spend too long time at the gym or something, I'm like, oh no, what's happening? Like, am I losing something? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, and that kind of goes along with the what do you call it, the hustle or whatever, where it can be too much of like, okay, you can have some breaks. You can have some breaks.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I feel like I'm gonna have no money tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of that mindset though, especially when you're grinding for something that's like all on you. Like I always wonder that, like how do you get to the point where like you're okay waking up without an alarm and having a nice morning, and you don't, like I can't do that. I'm like, it's Monday, I'm up, I gotta be working right now, but like no you don't.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard.
It's so hard.
I'm
to
glad
get out
it's
of that
hard for you
mindset.
too.
Yeah. I feel like that just kind of was instilled at this age of like that grind mentality, which is a blessing and a curse sometimes, but
because
you know,
like I'll even think too, it's like it's not physically possible for me to feel like I need to do like all this for the rest of my life. Like that's not healthy. Like but it still is so incredibly hard, because even if you're a very creative person, which I'm sure you very well are a creative person, with all the work that you do, where your mind goes into these inspirational, creative, even if you're just watching something. I can't even watch a movie without thinking, oh, I should do that with where's my camera?
No, really.
So, like I can't even enjoy movies without nitpicking. I mean, there's some good things to that, I guess. Like, oh, that was a cool shot. But yeah.
No, yeah. I have like probably 20 different random notes on my notes apps. Every time I get an idea, I like write. I should put them all in one, but I just start a new one, and then I'm like going back and trying to find it. But do you ever feel like I don't know if this is just me. I have 2 roommates that work 9 to 5s, and I don't ever want a 9 to 5. But sometimes I'm like, Man, it would be nice at 5 o'clock to just shut it off.
Yes, yeah, to not have something you thought
Yeah.
of doing earlier, like, oh, this would be cool.
Right.
Even, like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know, yeah.
Almost like to where you can have that mental break
Yeah.
without thinking you need or want to do something creative if you're
Right.
in that realm.
Like you constantly need to be working or doing something or putting your energy towards something. Like man, I would love to sit in the living room with my roommates at the end of the
Yeah.
day and not be like, okay, so tomorrow I have to do all these
Yeah,
things.
I'll usually hang out at my sister's, who she lives like 8 minutes away from me.
Oh,
So
nice.
her husband and my niece, they're really close in distance and relationally. But even there, if we're watching a movie or something, or just hanging out, I have my computer with me because I feel like if I leave it at my place, I'm gonna be like, oh, I need to go back home and get it or do something. But
Yeah.
even then, it's hard to just like relax, and it is for her too. Like her and I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when we're already collaborative
Yeah.
in both of our businesses, to where we're thinking of ideas or for the next thing to do together
Yeah.
or for this one business. So that can be hard too with
Yeah.
us together. Just shut it off.
Yeah.
So I mean, my niece helps me shut it off, I guess. But
Yeah.
just hanging out with her. And then I got the tea party, so now it's not shut off with my
That's
niece.
so cute.
But, so
I
yeah.
love that. Was your sister always an entrepreneur?
I think yes. Like she
Yeah.
had that mindset for sure. She actually opened up her own coffee shop.
Oh, cool.
When I was in high school,
Okay.
or 8th grade and then 9th grade. I can't even tell you how long it was open for, but maybe a couple of years or so,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, that was like a dream of hers.
That's
Growing
awesome.
up, like opening up a coffee shop, like a fun little thing. She did it and did a really good job, and then got into like the sales and marketing aspect of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess more into that. To where she worked at, it was called Serendipity Labs here, that turned into Venture X. It's like a co-working
okay.
space.
Yeah.
And kind of just did director of sales type of stuff with them, and then a loft, the Loft
Okay.
Hotels.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
But she was always, and she still is, or still does, like she wants to see how to make something better, and doesn't, like the limitations that she's had or that everybody will get from a job, like
Yeah.
to where she just really likes to go above and beyond. And she's just been a really good collaborator and networker in
Yeah.
the area. She's the reason why I have a lot of my clientele here anyways.
That's awesome.
Another thing, you might have to bring her on the pod.
All right, let's do it. Yeah,
right.
it's such a blessing to have people in your life that have that mindset that can like teach you about that, because they don't teach that in school.
No.
Maybe your school a little bit more than like the
Well, yeah,
universities I
college,
went
yeah.
to, but like coming out of school, I was like, what am I supposed to do? But I was lucky enough to have both my parents do their own thing, so I had that guidance.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
people are always like, how do you get into that? I think it's so important. Like you have your sister, like find somebody to be that mentor for you or to ask questions to that has that entrepreneurial mindset, because they think like this instead
Yeah.
of like this.
Yes, I can definitely get. My mom and I, when I was growing up, she called it the dot. Like you put a dot on a piece of paper and then draw a circle around it. If you just stare at the dot like long enough, the circle will start to fade. So I'm definitely a very like, I can get too zoned in on
Yeah.
something, which can be a good thing, but
Yeah.
can be a negative thing.
Yeah.
So my sister definitely helps in that aspect. Kind
Yeah.
of just like the more realistic viewpoints. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's been a big help.
That's awesome. Has she been here the same amount of time as you?
She has been here for, I want to say, going on almost 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So I visited Greenville a lot, but moving here 2 years ago was obviously, again, thanks to her. But
Yeah.
she just knows kind of her way around the city and just some good places, businesses, connections, whatever, to where throughout the years she's been here, me and my family visiting, we've been able to, I guess, get connected with the people she's connected with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Greenville's cool.
Yeah, it is. Did you stay in Florida until you moved to Greenville, or did you go somewhere else?
So, well, yeah, grew up in Georgia, then went to Pennsylvania,
Okay.
then like 8th grade, the summer before my 8th grade year, and then Florida for college, and then Kentucky after that. My mom, she was a head of school at a school in the Keys.
Okay.
It was actually the only private school there, and then got a elementary principal job in Kentucky, and then, which coincidentally was weird how she accepted that job pretty much a month after I graduated. So I was down in the Keys for a little bit, but it was kind of perfect, I guess, transition-wise out of college.
Okay.
But, and then, yeah, so I was in Kentucky for a little bit, and then now here.
Okay.
But my dad, I know I was telling you before the podcast, but my dad was a pastor for 32 years, so we moved around a lot, which is a good thing, but also has some of its, I guess, flaws, of like, I don't feel like I have an actual like home, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, but family feels like home.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, lots of moving, so that probably helped too with just like having to network, because
Yeah.
I always hated like a different school or a different, like when you move, like I don't know, I was like twiddling my fingers, like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Talk to people?
Yeah.
I don't do that. Now I do, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think that, like, I grew up in the same town. I went to school, high school, and then college, like an hour away, and then like just 23 years of my life I lived there. And then moving here, I was like, I didn't know a single person. I just kind of moved here on a whim, and that change really teaches you how to get out of your, like, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And anytime somebody asks me like for advice in their 20s, I'm like, move out of your hometown.
Oh, yeah,
just
for
try,
sure.
Just try it. Just
Yeah.
try it. Like, it was scary, obviously, but you get so comfortable there, and the people that you know, you have no idea who you could meet outside of that.
yes.
So I get both sides of it. Like, I'm sure it is tough not having like a home base, but it also probably was so great for your like networking skills to have that like constant change where you have to be outside of your
Yeah.
comfort zone.
And I still get nervous and stuff.
Me too.
But all the time, like
Yeah.
even just any little shoots or something, yeah. But definitely, I think like, I agree. Like moving out of your hometown, even for a year or something, just
Yeah.
or a long vacation if that's even possible. I don't even know
Right.
financially, but like a vacation, but kind of work there.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think if you can do that, that's pretty good because there's so much out there too. I mean, I still want to go like out, Italy or Spain, just somewhere
Same.
outside of America
Yeah.
to like get kind of that
Yeah.
visual experience and how things are out there. But yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah. Plus, like now at this age, I mean, it's kind of different down here. People, how old are you?
I'm 26.
You're 26. People our age are like married and having kids right now.
I know.
But in the Midwest, that's not the case. So I was like, well, you're not married or having kids, so you might as well travel and move somewhere
Yeah.
and try something new while you don't have anybody locking you down. But then I moved here and everybody was married, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I know. Literally.
Never mind then.
Yeah. It's like a third wheel all the time. Sometimes it's fun. You could save money.
That's
that
true.
way.
No, that's awesome. So 26, what would you say has been the greatest like lesson you've learned in your 20s?
At 26?
Yeah.
I would say, I'm trying to make this sound not harsh.
That's okay.
To like not trust anyone. And I know everyone says that, but in the sense of like, you, I guess, and I just mean, I guess kind of like business wise, there's a lot of times where like, and people in this industry obviously get the same type of experience of getting used for what you have. So a lot of even video and photo people I know too say the same thing of people want things for free. So there's only so many people like are genuinely like wanting to collab or just I don't know, collab, be friends, do some stuff, work together, or you do something for them, whatever.
Yeah.
To where that's kind of just like this year, especially kind of just helped me realize like not to be so like, oh yeah, let's just do that. like kind of just step back and whoa, step back from the mic too far. Just step back and just kind of look at it a little bit more realistic of,
Right.
because you can't do things like you can't just do free things all that's like
Right.
or for everyone indefinitely. You're not
Right.
getting, and I know I'm like over exaggerating it, but I mean, because you still want to do some collabs and free that really
Yeah.
helped skyrocket my business. Is a lot of freebies and stuff, but I think it's more of, I guess, a self-respect thing too of not letting people just like walk all over you just because you have these things and equipment. But I mean, there's a photographer, I won't say his name, but me and him talk about it all the time. Like his photography has really skyrocketed and so forth, and it's like even hard for him because he's dealing with the same type of stuff. But yeah, I would say that. And the positive aspect of that lesson, let's go positive. I guess I think it kind of helps you, I don't know, meet some really good friends like Corey. I'm bringing him up again because he's a really good friend. But him as a business owner, he's helped me like kind of make sure I'm not getting walked all over. Like he, I mean, has his things he has to deal with too as a business owner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you can find some good people like him that are business owners that go through that type of stuff as well to help mentor you, I think that's a good aspect too. So I don't even know if I said everything correctly. We'll see after the script. But yeah, I think there's like good and bad things with trusting and not trusting people. So
it's hard to find those boundaries, especially early on, because it's like so exciting when somebody wants to work with you, or like a brand reaches out to you in like the content creation space, and then you're like, oh my God, yes, I'll do anything. But then you kind of have to learn as you go to be like, all right, well, I'm worth something, even if I'm not huge yet.
Yeah.
And find that that's still hard for me to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so honest.
Yeah, it is like, cause you collaborating with people, helping others is a great thing. And I think people should always, do that in general. And I think a lot of free things, collaborative things have always helped. But yeah, I definitely think not having that as like a driving force of your main thing you're doing, like you're just out here letting, people just assume to use you for, I guess, what you have for free, whatever, however you want to say it. I think it's definitely something that everyone has to deal with in life in general through the rest of their life. So, but I think this year definitely made me think of it more per se. So.
It's a blessing to it's a hidden blessing, but it helps you kind of weed out the people that really aren't as supportive as you thought they were, or kind of just hanging on there for their own reasons and not really for you, which can like suck, especially in the early 20s, like moving out of college and realizing like some friends really weren't really a part of your success and stuff. But it does help you figure out like, all right, who's actually got my back and who
you
doesn't.
You appreciate them more too.
Yeah.
Even my best friend Demir, I mentioned earlier in Atlanta, like me and him are really close. I mean, we don't talk all the time, but it's just the type of friendship you just meet up again, you're goofballs again. Yeah. But I mean, he's a great friend, kind of deals with the same stuff in film, but that definitely a big yearly thing.
Yeah. So this is like way back to what we were talking about earlier. You have like music that you've made in films?
Yeah, like short films and indie films, not like blockbuster things.
That's so cool.
We'll see. A lot of films remotely from LA. There's film festivals I do remotely from there too, which really help get me in the door. There's a freebie thing that helps get you in the door. Just do a film festival. Where you get all these connections.
Yeah.
That you get to work outside of the festival. But I want to say I had a really good sentence in my head and it kind of stumbled away. But yeah, I don't know. I guess obviously blockbuster films is still like a kind of a little bit of an end goal. I think that'd be cool to do. I think doing indie films and short films are fun. Like you have pretty free range of creativity, especially if the director gives it to you. But Yeah, I mean, nothing super major. I mean, there's some stuff on Amazon Prime, and then there's a Netflix show that's in development. I don't know if I can say the name.
Okay.
I might not live tomorrow. But yeah, that'll be up here pretty soon. So yeah,
That's so cool.
A lot of I want to say like short films. There's feature films too I've worked on that are longer, but short films are good too because they're not so long. They're like 6, 7, 10, I don't know, 10 minutes too, to where you don't have like a 2.5 hour length film or 2 hour, whatever, where you have, I mean, that stresses me out.
Yeah.
So like feature films stress me out a little bit, but yeah, a lot of shorts. So there was actually, I don't even know why I didn't even think of it to say this earlier. It's called How to Make Shepherd's Pie. It was, it got Oscar, not nominated, whatever, to get accepted into the Oscars, but didn't make like the top 5 or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Was in the Oscar shorts. So I did the sound mixing for that and Foley and stuff.
Wow.
So that definitely helped,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I guess, helped me get out there some more too, which is hilarious. I didn't even remember to think about it. I have a picture in my studio. The giant poster says, How to Make Shepherd's Pie Film. I forgot about it.
Yeah, no biggie.
Yeah, no biggie.
The Oscars. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so what's the big goal? Like, what's next for Anchored Productions?
I want to have just a big brick and mortar like studio. Like I want to have what I have now, but in a bigger space. So everything is in my other bedroom in my apartment. So
Okay.
it probably looks cool on Instagram, but it's just my place. So I have a 2-bedroom, but my 1 bedroom is just dedicated as my studio. So I have all 3 things, or all 3 services I have in my business. So audio, film, photo, but I want that to be bigger and in a big like studio space. So big film spot, kind of like White Wall Studios. Like I really love what they do. So kind of a big spot like that. And then where you could do photos in there too. Then a podcast room, and then a music studio room. But yeah, I've been in the works or in the talks with my sister and some people around here of like how to go about doing that. And even if it's like a thing of people can use it, kind of like how White Wall Studios does it, like, you know, day usages or hour usages. But
Right.
yeah, no, that's definitely the next step. And then Hans Zimmer. There's gonna be a Hans Zimmer collage clips of my videos.
Every time you say it.
Maybe this is when he'll finally listen.
Yeah. Tag him in the comments.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah, which that's scary too. I'm
yeah,
sure
I'm
my
sure.
sister's gonna be the one to push me to do it.
Hey,
But
she sounds great though.
yeah,
That's awesome.
everything's been nice to do remotely, but there's still a lot of the clientele is here, and I think it'd be a pretty nice big step for me to do that.
Yeah.
So that's
Cool.
next.
Alrighty.
Coming to a theater near you.
Coming soon. So I guess to kind of put a bow on all of everything we just talked about, what advice do you have for people in their 20s, just in general, or people that might want to take on entrepreneurship, maybe something that you like to think about or something that somebody told you? It could be anything.
I would say, it's like I'm just
Put you
thinking
on
of
the
the most
spot.
I'm just thinking of the most cliche things.
Well,
Don't give up.
Cliche things are so true, though.
It is.
That's
I
yeah.
hate how true it is.
I know.
So I'll use the don't give up. Because when you do, then you've already like backtracked of what you were doing. Now you're, and there it goes back to like the hustle. So like there's still like boundaries or a good balance. So
Yeah.
you don't want to be too much of a workaholic. But I think if you can just, I don't know, just keep doing it. I think discipline would probably be a big factor in the don't give up aspect.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the gym world is the reason for like why I feel like I've had some of the discipline I've had. But yeah, you just have to do things when you don't want to do it. And Marcus said it in the podcast of Supreme and Junkyard that I did for
Yeah.
recently. Like, there's things that you're going to have to do that you don't want to do, and things that you want to do that you shouldn't do
Yeah.
business wise. So yeah, just being able to discipline yourself and knowing what's best for the end goal that you're pursuing, I think is best. Even in the hard days, like you're still going to have the hard days.
Yeah.
It's where you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think if you can just keep going,
Love
it'll
that.
eventually pan out, and it'll happen. Here's another cliche: when you least expect it. Because I was definitely like thinking, how long is this going to take? Even though I'm not like 50, like
Yeah.
I'm only in my 20s, so
Yeah.
it's not like I'm running out of time necessarily. But yeah, and then I feel like it did happen like out of nowhere, like everything
Yeah.
aligned perfectly, like financially, business wise and stuff. And I was like, okay, God, I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's, people always say that, like, I didn't even know it was coming, but if you trust and you do the work, it's going to come.
Yeah.
You just have
Yeah.
to be patient. Well, I can't even tell I'm the least patient person in the world, but I'm like,
Same.
just trust
And the
keep
worry.
doing the
The
work.
worry is hard, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's going to come. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
Just keep the focus. And then it comes and you're like, I didn't even know.
Yeah, that's like when you can use the horse with blinders analogy, because usually that's like a negative, like, you're like
Yeah.
a horse with blinders,
Yeah.
come on. But sometimes if,
Yeah, it's easier that way with a goal.
Yeah.
Because it's like so many things are coming this way. And I'm like, all right, I know that this is going to come for me. I'm trusting in it. I'm
Yeah.
going to do the work, and it will come when the time is right.
Yeah.
Even though I want that time to be yesterday.
and then you can maybe balance it a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you have to do some hard stuff first. But yeah.
Okay, I like ending with that. So where can everybody support you, find you, follow you?
You can follow me. Should I do personal or business? I guess they're all out there.
Whatever you wanna do.
So my business website is anchoredproductions.com. The social is at Anchor Productions LLC. Anchored. I know sometimes when I speak too fast, I say anchor. So Anchored Productions LLC. And then my personal is I am Joshua White. I'm Joshua White.
All right.
Because all the other ones were taken. Joshua White. Sure, I'll just be.
That's tough.
I am Joshua White. Whatever. Yeah. That's
Okay,
it.
cool.
Cool.
Well, I'll put all of that for everybody in the description, but thank you so
Cool.
much
Thank
for doing
you.
this. This is awesome.
Peace out.